So this is why we can show that the fifth root of x to the power 10 can be rewritten as x squared. We can do this really, the simplest explanation is we can just simplify the fraction and exponent. So we can rewrite as a fraction, as a rational power, 10 over 5. Okay, and then this will become x squared. So we can show that very easily because of that ratio of terms. The other way we can explain this is the same what we did here. We can just say that, well, of a power 5, x to the power 10 can be written as x to the power 5 times x to the power 5 and by definition of square root, the number that multiplies itself to get x to the power 10, well, that number is going to be x to the power 5. Sorry, that's going to be the number that multiplies by itself 5 times, sorry. Number that multiplies by itself 5 times to get x to the power 10 is going to be x squared, x squared, x squared. So maybe I'll rewrite it that way. That's a little bit easier to explain. So we have x to the power 2 times we have x to the power 2 5 times. Okay, x to the power 2, x to the power 2, x to the power 2. So the number that multiplies itself 5 times and gives us x to the power 10, the answer to that would be, is going to be x squared. Okay, so we can justify it in this way and say that, well, by definition of the fifth root, there are 5 groups of 2 in 10. And that's how we do that. We could also, the original argument that I was making was this one here, the fifth root. If I have x5 times x5, we can use a power property that the power and the root undo each other. This power and this root undoes each other. And so we end up with x times, and this power and root undoes each other. So we end up with x, which is x squared. Okay, and we can think of it in that terms, that the power and root undo each other. So there's a few different ways we can justify it. We can justify it with the ratio of powers in the fraction. We can justify it as the number of times it multiplies itself. So we can think of it in terms of multiplication here. We could also think of it in terms of powers and root undo each other to get x squared. In all cases, we end up with x squared.